Radio into part two. He's back, and once again, a year out from an election, New Zealand First leader Winston Peters appears to be building very good momentum for another shot at the capital. He joins us now. Greetings, Winston. You sound busy. You're on the road there, out and about, and the momentum is building.
Yes, well, it is actually, and it's great because, frankly, a lot of things in this country are not going well at all. In fact, they're going backwards, and there needs to be a serious focus on what we can do to improve things.
What's the main thing? What's the biggest concern for you that is not going well? I mean, we have the situation, we're hearing what's going on with the farmers and their protests. They're not happy, and we've got all sorts of labour shortages, a lot going on.
Well, first of all, when it comes to the farmers, they got us through within hundreds of thousands of service people who are associated with farming. They got us through the COVID crisis in terms of our economy. And we hardly got past there, and the government displayed some serious ingratitude with their latest attempts to tax farming in this country, when we've got the lowest carbon footprint for farming anywhere in the world. And if you take a cow out of our economy, some other economy with a far higher carbon print for that animal, will replace it. And so how does that balance the world? It doesn't. And so we need some straight talking here on this matter, and not, bovine scatology, as I said over the weekend.
Yeah. Look, given it is such an important issue to farmers, and we're primarily a farming show, if you're back in the beehive in 12 months in any deal you will make, will a rethink on these farmer emissions be a deal breaker for you?
Look, we made it very clear before the election what our position was. We're making it very clear now. We want the farming community to get a fair go. We believe that the farming community can provide leadership when it comes to initiatives to do with climate change. But what we've got to do is take the farming community with us, which was the consultation they were involved in. At the last moment, they had two tack-ons, which enraged the farming community, and quite rightly.
Mm-hmm. I want to ask you about the team that you are building around you, and those who obviously, effectively lost their jobs last time around. Who's sort of coming back into the fold, into the mix for New Zealand First, Winston?
Well, we've got a whole lot of people that are former MPs, like Mark Patterson way down there in the deep south. You know who he is. He's a Federated Farmers guy. We've got Gareth Brawl, we've got Shane Jones, we've got Richard Tabuto, Mahesh Bindra, a stack of MPs seeking to come back, but some very exciting new talent coming as well. And we're going to be at Gore Sunday week at 1 in the afternoon, 1:30 in the afternoon, for a serious public meeting. We're taking this on a listening tour around the country and talk to the people who have been the heart and soul of this country's economy all these decades.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is the biggest issue that you would like to address, or that you think the people of New Zealand overall, not just the farmers, but what is the biggest issue you see facing the country at the moment? Well,
usually it's that with the economy, and you talk about the cost of living rises, the cost of everything's going up hugely. Inflation has been rampant at about 15% over the last 2 years alone. People don't understand that this compounds upon itself, and a lot of these inflationary pressures are homemade, with unwise policy based on consumption rather than wealth creation, added value and production. But something new is out there as well, not just crime and lawlessness and a whole host of other things, but we've got actually a serious challenge to our form of democracy, an insidious undermining of our democracy, where it's no longer one person, one vote, but some people have to have votes far more privileged than others, and they're arguing about a thing called co-governance, which again is a direct attack on our democratic system. And New Zealand First making it very, very clear we're utterly against it, and we're going to campaign to stop it.
You made the comment about sort of the seeds of apartheid, Winston, but then you may also follow that up with the analogy of Barack Obama, which I think is fair enough.
Well, the reality is that some people objected to me using that phrase. And I said, what do you think that Martin Luther King was talking about when he talked about, he looked forward to a time when people would be judged by the quality of their character, not the colour of their skin. And that led to, in time, black congressmen, black senators, and a black president in a country where their focus was trying to understand that we're all in this together. And we're going to spend all our time talking about ethnic background, then there's a whole lot of Maori got more European, more Scottish, more Irish, more English in them than they have Maori. Why would they want to disown one side of them and just build on the other side as though somehow this is a preference? That's no way to go forward. And what we really lack as a country, and it's critical that we regain it, is a sense of unity. We're all in this together trying to build a future, not trying to write the past, so to speak. You know, the latest, most ridiculous thing was the outlawing of Shakespeare, if you please, by Creative New Zealand. They don't even understand that when Shakespeare was alive, there was no colonisation coming out of England. We hadn't even got to the start of that yet. But here's the fact: they're making decisions and they're demonstrating day in, day out their utter ignorance of actual history, their ignorance of the Treaty of Waitangi, and their ignorance of the basis that somehow the Treaty of Waitangi was about, about universal suffrage, about universal voting. Well, no chief ever had that on their mind at 6th of February 1840. And guess what? No English person or anybody in the world had it on their mind because no one had thought about it. So they're actually rewriting history to fit their version, and they need to be confronted with a bit of courage head on. And that's what our intention is.
So Gore next Sunday, is it? Is that right, Winston?
Yes, next Sunday.
Yep.
At the RSA.
RSA next Sunday, 1 o'clock next Sunday?
Yes.
Yep, okay. Well, we'll look forward to hearing more about that. We know you're a busy man, you're on the road, and we'll let you get on with doing a good job around the country, and we will talk again in the not-too-distant future. Much appreciated.
Thank you very much. Good luck to your listeners.